As artificial intelligence rapidly advances, the boundaries of technological progress are pushed further and further. When we discuss the possibilities of future technologies, a concept often emerges in the conversation: virtual reality. This refers not only to virtual worlds that offer us an escape from reality and entertainment experiences, but to a deeper, more fundamental concept. Could our reality, or even the entire universe, simply be a simulation created by a highly advanced civilization? This question was first systematically articulated in the simulation hypothesis proposed by Nick Bostrom, a philosopher at Oxford University, in 2003. Bostrom introduced a startling and somewhat unsettling idea. If a civilization's technology reached a sufficiently high level, they would be fully capable of creating highly realistic virtual realities, meaning our current experience of reality might just be one of those simulations. The simulation hypothesis outlines three possible scenarios for our existence in a simulated reality. 1. Future humans reach the peak of technology and choose to exist in a virtual form. In this case, we might be living in a virtual world they created, a reenactment of a historical era. 2. Future humans develop virtual life forms that exist in a virtual manner, believing they live in a specific historical period. This means our reality is actually a program designed by a more advanced civilization. 3. If virtual worlds can be created, then a multitude of virtual worlds would naturally exist. This leads to a recursive possibility, where our world could be one of countless nested virtual realities. Bostrom's hypothesis touches on a core issue: the nature of consciousness. The origin of consciousness remains an unsolved mystery in science, philosophy, and the field of artificial intelligence. Some theories suggest that consciousness may arise from complex interactions of electrical and chemical signals in the brain, while some philosophical views consider consciousness a fundamental form of existence independent of the physical world. In AI research, consciousness is seen as the product of complex information processing. Imagine, if one day we could create a supercomputer capable of simulating the entire universe. What kind of astonishing computational power would such a computer need? It is estimated that simulating the operations of a single human brain every second would reach 10 to the 20 operations. To simulate the life experiences of all humans throughout history, this number would rise to an unimaginable 1042 operations. This computational demand far exceeds our current understanding. But the most fundamental question is, how can we determine whether our world is a simulation created by an advanced civilization? British physicist Melvin Vopson proposed a method which is to search for possible hidden information carried by the information units that make up our physical world, from atoms to fundamental particles. If we can find such information, then we might discover evidence proving our world is virtual. Thus, Vopson believes that if our real world is a virtual information system, then its basic information units should carry some hidden information. These pieces of information are crucial for the operating system, but for some reason they have not been encoded or encrypted by higher-level systems or sources of information. This information could involve various parameters or variables of our real world, such as physical constants, initial conditions, boundary conditions, etc. If we could extract or decrypt this information, it would be equivalent to finding a bug in the world, proving our world is virtual. His experiment is as follows. He plans to use a homemade collider to crash a fundamental particle with its antiparticle, such as an electron and a positron. This collision would cause them to annihilate each other and release energy, such as photons. His task is to measure the frequency of these photons. If the frequency of these photons is specific, it might indicate that these particles carry some hidden information attempting to escape. This could very likely prove that our real world is a virtual system. In reality, everything we see, hear, touch, and smell is processed by the brain's interpretation of external world electrical signals. What we touch may not necessarily be physical, as long as the brain believes it is. This is similar to our experience in dreams, where we don't touch any physical entity, but still experience a very realistic physical world. These are the workings of the brain's neurons' electrical signals. In other words, the human brain is a simulatable digital signal. This implies that everything in our current physical world can be digitized or pixelated. Dr. Vopson stated that there is considerable evidence suggesting our physical reality might be a simulated virtual reality, rather than an objective world existing independently of the observer. Any virtual reality world would be based on information processing. This means that everything in this world would eventually be digitized or pixelated to the smallest size, that is, bits. Then, it could not be further subdivided. The universe's smallest scale, the Planck length, just like the world's most basic element, can be considered the resolution of this virtual system. So, is our world virtual or real? Actually, the verification method is quite simple. Assuming our universe is a virtual system, if you can perceive a world outside of this system, then we are in a simulation, just as you realize a dream is not real when you wake up from it. If we cannot perceive anything beyond, then we are real. Sometimes, reality and virtuality are relative. If humanity, even at the brink of extinction, cannot perceive what lies beyond the universe, then we can consider ourselves real. Whether a system is real depends on whether the observer is within or outside the system. Hence the saying, "When humans ponder, God laughs," is not without reason. This is why all our thoughts and theories cannot explain what lies beyond the universe. The answer to this question has surpassed our dimension. Just like an NPC living in an infinitely large map in a game, how can it perceive the player controlling the game? Suppose one day, this NPC suddenly realizes it is virtual, created, and even finds tangible evidence to reveal all this, then what awaits it? Do you think our world is virtual or real? When you have time, you might also explore if there are any inconsistencies in life that hint at a virtual world. See you next time.